Jim, thanks. It is a big weekend in Providence. After a year hiatus because of COVID, Rhode Island Comic-Con is back. Celebrities galore on hand that you'll be able to meet at the three-day event, including professional wrestlers and MMA fighters, as well as cast members from Cobra Kai and Stranger Things. And you may even see director Kevin Smith, who just finished up Clerks 3. And that's not all. Remember a little show called Leave It to Beaver?
Yeah, one of the most beloved shows of all time, and you can meet two of the cast members from that this weekend, including this morning's special guest.
Well, one of the most iconic television sitcoms of all time, Leave It to Beaver, no question. We are so pleased and honored this morning to be joined by the Beaver himself, no other than Jerry Mathers, with us this morning. Jerry, thanks so much for stopping by.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Really appreciate it. 60 plus years since Leave It to Beaver debuted on the airwaves. It still resonates with folks today, though. What made that show so iconic?
Well, I think one of the things is that it's all from real life. It's just not people. A lot of the shows today are joke shows where people get up and tell jokes and they work it into the scene, but Leave It to Beaver is just about a little boy growing up in the 50s and 60s, and it's really not that much different today. And
you're in town, Comic-Con 2021 coming up this weekend. Your co-star on the show, Leave It to Beaver, back in the day, Tony Dow, who played your brother in the show. He's also going to be a part of Comic-Con.
Absolutely.
You guys still close to this day?
We're like very good friends. It's maybe, people always say, well, he played your brother. Well, I'm the oldest in my family. He's the youngest. But, it's just a nice thing to have somebody that you've known for that long and worked with that long, and I think it's the same for him. So we just have a really good time. We get to meet a lot of fans. People come in and, they've always had some question they want to know, and they ask it. The big one is, where's Mayfield? I don't know. Someplace in the United States, but it's a very nice town. I'd like to live there if I could ever find it.
You had been in acting leading up to this role. We have a great story about the audition for Leave It to Beaver. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I had my Cub Scout uniform on. That's what my mother said. So you will go right to the meeting. You won't be late. I said, I hate to be late, and I have a meeting today. And they said, okay, goodbye. So I walked right in and right out. Since it was one of the last interviews, everybody else had been in there like 15, 20, 30 minutes. And my mom said, what happened? I said, well, they asked me if I wanted to be here. I said, no, so they said I could go. And she went, okay, we've been here for how many weeks now?
They like that.
And that's why they hired me. They said they'd rather have a kid that would want to be at a Cub Scout meeting than go on an interview.
Well, you can meet Jerry and everybody, Jerry and Tony, everybody going to be at Comic-Con 2021 this week at the Dunkin' Donuts Center. Folks can show up and get pictures with you, autographs, all sorts of stuff.
And a lot of other things there too. I haven't gone through the whole place, but it's very, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of fans. Everybody always has some question about certain shows, and they'll say, that's exactly the same thing I did, and I go, whoa, that's okay.
Well, we are so happy to have you in Providence this weekend, Jerry, and thank you so much for stopping by ABC 6.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you to Jerry Mathers. You can see him this weekend.
Yeah, when you see him talk, it's funny because you see him obviously today, but then you just picture him as that little boy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So iconic. So many people are going to be here for Comic-Con.
Yes, tickets and ticket packages still available. We'll have that information at abc6.com. Going to be a fun weekend.
All right, prepare for costumes galore downtown.
Yeah, don't be alarmed.
Yes.